All right, I think we're live now. Hopefully so. Just gonna throw the chat in the little window there. Yeah, so I was sitting there tonight talking with a buddy of mine who's an animator, and he was having some trouble figuring out a couple of things. Was asking me things that to me I kind of take as second nature, and because he hadn't used moho in a minute, and he did some tips or whatever, some help with some things he was trying to figure out. And I was realizing, oh, maybe there's a lot of other people who don't know these things or remember them or stuff like that. I have a lot of trouble with those things, so remembering things. Anyway, I was like, okay, well, let me make a little tip video, a little live stream just for that real quick, to kind of talk about some of what he may or may not have been having trouble with that you might also be having trouble with. So let me just move my screen over here a little bit. And then, yeah, so like the freehand tool is one of the things we went over, but also kind of like the filling of color and how that's really confusing. So let's just say here right now I have got my thing set up for autofill and auto stroke, and we're just going to make a shape like this, right? So we have a stroke. I didn't close it, but it's okay. And it's welded. It's a complete shape, I guess I should say. You can see here. But anyway, I drew this shape and it was with these settings. And so normally if you had your color already set, let's say in your style panel, you would come out with the color that you're going to have in there, that you have it set in the style panel when you draw, like that. It's going to be the same color, right? But you'd say, well, how do I change that color? And sometimes it is true. You can go in here and say, okay, I want to change this color. So you go back and select the color, and now you can't do anything, right? Or if the color picker, which it did come up, comes up over here, and you want to change it, you go and you click red and say, that's the color I'm going to go. And you say, okay, and boop, it's there, but it doesn't update. And that's because you don't have your shape selected. And people are like, a lot of people say, but I never had to do that before, but I guarantee you did. You just probably forgot. This red here denotes what you will be coloring with when you draw a new shape or whatever. So let's say we go back to our freehand tool here. We draw, and now see that's the new shape, which is great. But to change the color of one you already have drawn, you need to come over here to your select shape tool, select that, and then now you can change it either in the style panel or you can change it up here on the left where your fill option is. And then you can check whatever you like, and then you can say okay, and it'll change that. Now, if you draw another shape, say with the freehand tool or even with the add points tool, you will get a shape with that exact same color. Then it's not instance, but you can go here and select it and change the color of that next one by selecting the shape with the select shape tool and then going back, selecting the new color you want and then saying okay, and it will update for that new shape. That's the problem a lot of people get confused on with coloring your shapes and stuff. You have to click on this select shape tool before you change the color, because if you just do it in the style panel, it's not going to work because you don't have anything really selected. If your shape is selected, you can change it in the style panel or anywhere else you want, but you see what just happened? If I change it now, never mind, that does work. Sometimes it doesn't, but it deselected is what I was worried about. But see, if you change it now, yes, it'll change because I have it selected over here with the select shape tool. That's what these little checkery things are for. When I deselect out, now I can't change it. If I go back and say, oh, I want to change that back because it's still selected over here, it's actually not. You just still have that color selected. Even if you change it up here, it's not going to change it in this box because it wasn't selected before you changed it. You always have to select it with the select shape tool first, then select it either here or up here in the fill, and then you change it over here and say okay, and you're good to go. Okay, next thing, let's go ahead and get rid of these dudes. There were some problems with the because being a sketch artist and something, he does a lot of animation, but he does a lot of sketchy kind of drawing. The the freehand tools do elude a lot of people, or some people are turned off by them. And there's a few reasons about that too. One thing a lot of people don't know is you can draw and you can get this autofill, and you can close that up and stuff. You can weld the ends, etc. If they do meet, you can come around here and make sure they're over each other, let go, and supposedly they should weld close. I always have problems with it. Maybe it's just me. But as far as the autofill and auto stroke, that's what you're getting here. If you turn off auto stroke, you're just getting fill, which is also useful if you don't want strokes or don't want strokes on that part. I never want to have a stroke. I had one, don't want one again. But then you have this other one called the multi-stroke fill, that when you draw, you can make a partial shape here, but then you can go ahead and draw the rest of the shape, let's say here, and it will allow you to do multiple strokes for that shape. Now, it does matter what order and placement you do them in. So if you wanted a shape like I was trying to draw, like a 4-leaf clover, you'd need to go, like this to get that, right? And that's not a 4-leaf clover, but you understand what I'm saying. And of course, you can have your stroke on or off. Also, in the freehand options, some people miss this. Right here, it is a drop down. I don't know why it's there over there by itself. It should be, I think, in a setting that's pretty obvious. This one's pretty obvious, but it's missed because of its placement, I think. You drop down, you have your width. I always have my pressure and stuff turned on. I like to use pressure when using this tool. Let's turn off the autofill just real quick. I just want the strokes. We'll turn off the multi-stroke fill. We're gonna just turn off the autofill and only have the auto stroke, so I can draw, right? Now you can see, and this was one thing that was said, when you draw, your smoothing's too high. You can see it almost pull like a string and tighten itself up. And if you are really a purist, like sketch artist or something like that, you're going to really not like the fact that it's changing your art as it's making it. So I know a lot of people that are just that really bugs you, right? Let me just type something in real quick here, because I realize I'm not logged in on that account. So you can turn down the smoothing, and something he did not realize that that I was like, well, maybe more people need to know that, is you can turn that all the way down to like 1. It will still do enough smoothing to make it a little better, but it won't do so much that you're just like, ugh, I can't, I don't want to do this because it just makes it look so bad, right? Make sure that is the right one. Hang on. Just need to log in. Ah, crud. Hang on. One more time. Do I have my thing here? Let's see. I am not able to log in. Why is that? Sorry, guys. Just give me 1 second. It's not letting me log in. Let's try this one. I don't know why, but I cannot log in to see the account, or I mean the control panel, but I can see the chat. Actually, I can't see the chat. Darn it. 1 second. It always has to be something, huh? Let's just do that, and let me see if I can just get in here real quick. Sorry, guys. It could be that I'm typing too fast or wrong. I do that all the time, so. Try the old. I think I got it that time. Okay, I just need to tell it, yes, it's me. But anyway, so a lot of, issues that I kind of take for, as not a big deal. He was starting to have somewhat of here. Oh, is that in my email? Hang on. Sorry. Gosh, man. If it's not the thing, it's all the other things. So let me just make sure that logs in real quick so I can see the chat. Yes, it's me, and that should be fine now. Cool. Yeah, sign in faster. Now they're giving the suggestion, right? Okay, so we'll just say continue, blah, blah, blah. Continue someday. Sorry, guys. 1 second, just making sure that this is working. I can see you, and you can talk to me. All right, so the chat is up and working. And, oh Lord, what the heck here? It's always, let's see, one more step always, right? Okay, as far as I know, we are now streaming live and all is good to go. Cool, hang on one sec. So, as I was saying, I've got this set to just auto stroke, and you can see with the smoothing turned up, it kind of pulls like a little bit of a pull string. I don't mind that because I like it when it kind of helps me a little bit. But if you are kind of like a more purist and you don't want it messing with your stuff so much, obviously you can turn all this stuff on, your drift and your opacity and the width and everything. So I like the dynamic shape, but yes, for some things I don't want it as well. But then your smoothing, you can see it's way up here, and you turn it down to these other bits, and it's almost nothing. But I usually stick it on like the first little setting here, and that's more than enough to where it pulls a tiny bit, but not so bad that it really bothers me. And if I'm doing something super sketchy, I just turn it all the way off. And if I'm doing something that really needs super perfect precision, I'll just do it with the add points tool, because I mean, why wouldn't you do that? For sketchy though, I like to really, just use this. And you can see that it does kind of, like if I cross this and then pull down a little bit quickly, it does try to adjust that highest peak a little bit, but it's not so much that it bothers me, but other folks it does. But yes, those settings, are there. You can obviously use stuff like, reduce points and things like that if it's adding too many points when you turn your smoothing off, blah, blah, blah. I don't tend to have a problem with a lot of this, though. The weld ends, I would like to kind of figure out what's going on here with me, too. So if I draw this, stick this together, see that automatically did weld my ends that time. Sometimes I have a real problem with it not doing it. It's working perfectly now, of course, because like my friend said just a minute ago, only in a live stream will it make that kind of a liar out of you. But as far as that coloring selection and how that works, I hope that helped you guys for starters. I'm trying to think of some other things we were talking about that he was having some confusion about or whatever. But that's mostly, any issues. He was making a layer and having a problem with the color thing. We fixed that. I started that. And it's sometimes you think, oh, it's going to be more fast or easy than that, or a different way, because you use so many other different programs, as I do and he does. So, but literally, you have your shape. Now let's do I'm used to working on the iPad, so I almost, 2-finger tapped. But, let's do an autofill. And you just draw that dude out like that. And if you want, let's auto weld it. I think the weld is not happening when you're in the autofill and auto stroke mode. So let's undo that and let's turn off the autofill and do this and watch. Boom, now it does auto weld. That's the way they have it set up. Then you can go back and add color. But the way you would do that also, because we did talk about this, is to have your shape selected with this create shape tool. It is selected here. You want to add on fill and stroke if you do want both of those. Make sure you set that. If it's open, you would click on connect and create if there's a gap. If there's not, you're going to click just on create shape and you'll have your shape. And then of course you can change the fill by going to your select shape tool this time, selecting on it, then changing the color either from up here or your style panel. It's the only way you can do it after the fact. If you draw a shape that is, let's say, open like this, it's not connected, it's not filled, and you come over here to your create shape tool, you want both, but if you were to just create it now, what'll happen is it won't do it because it's not connected. If you want that to happen, you click connect and create, and now when you come over here, you can see it will not draw that line that you did not draw, but it will connect it with that fill. Voila. And then if you want to put your highlights and shadows, like I showed you in another video, it has to be on another vector layer, generally above that. And we'll just put shadow, right? And then on that layer with our blob brush, which is, in my opinion, kind of the easiest to use this way, you would take a sample of your color here. Let's first grab that color like in our style panel. You know, there's your color. Then I would take that color and just make a lighter version or a darker version for the shadow, like so. Say OK. With that blob brush set to a little more appropriate size, maybe something kind of like that. You know, you draw where you want this shadow to be. Maybe like that, right? Go in here with your eraser. It's the most miraculous and amazing thing. And cut off any of the edges that you don't want, which is always a good way to do it. But, and we're not done yet, let's say you wanted this, you know, as a hard, sharp edge there like that. See, it'll leave that. But this overlapping stuff, you're going to go through and shift select both these layers. Sorry, my bad. You're going to shift select this layer, shift select that one. I don't know why that's coming up. We'll just say apply. I don't know what I'm applying or why that's coming up. Undo. What's going on here, guys? I don't know what I've done. We are in a strange place. Let me figure out what's going on. I've zoomed in by accident is what it is. Okay, so I have this bottom layer. I'm going to shift select the other one. Not outside of here. That's what I was doing. You need to go kind of next to the name. And right click. And you'll go group with selection, of course. And I've erased my shadow. Darn it. Let's undo that or redo that. Hang on. Let me just fix this. Control, Shift Z. Why aren't you undoing? Must have accidentally saved it. It's okay. Because in the shadow layer, we're going to do this again. And I'm going to draw with that blob brush a shadow. Hopefully we are still in shadow color. Yep. So this is what I did for the shadow. Just do it again. I'm going to take my eraser with, you know, and just cut away the blob brush where I don't want it. It's a wonderful way of doing that. Ta-da, boom. And then now anything that overlaps, we're just going to come through here. We've already grouped them. You know, you select both, you right click, and you group a selection, which creates this folder group. And within that folder group, you double click it, you bring up your dialog here, and we're going to say masking, hide all, and OK. And now you've got this. But see, look, my black line's gone. Easy. You just go back to this bottom layer now, which is basically what gives you the entire shape. Not the shadow, but the one, you know, that is the outline of everything. Double click that, open it up, masking, you just come down to the bottom and exclude the strokes, and your strokes will magically come back to be there. So let's just get off that layer now, and you see it's got the stroke all the way around, it's got the shadow there, and you're done. Pretty simple. All right, if I think of anything else, I'll make another short like actual tutorial, but I just wanted to pop on and give a little like quick live stream about how that should be done. I hope that helped.